Will do.
All right, I'm going to share some stats with you, and then we're going to get into a conversation on lead generation. And I'm going to be on page 136 of Millionaire Real Estate Agent today. So in Coral Springs, Parkland, the market that you guys work, if you're in the Coral Springs office, in March of 2022, the number of homes closed was down 7% over March 2021. Big deal. You know, fewer homes being sold. Okay, is anybody shocked by that? You shouldn't be. Here's a number that I think will surprise you just a little bit. It even surprised me. The number of listings that were taken in March of 2022 compared to March 2021 was down by 32%. Now that number surprised me quite a bit. Now, listen to this. The number of homes listings sold was only 20 fewer than the number that was listed. The gap between the number of homes being listed and the number of listings being sold was 20. Now, you want to compare that to March of 2021, the gap between the number of homes that were listed that month and the number of listings that was sold was 85. In other words, the gap was bigger a year ago than it is today. So what does that tell me? It's just 1 month. But what it tells me is the competition for listings is greater today than it was even a year ago, which it's just 1 month. And it tells me that the market's not slowing down when it comes to competition for listings. It's actually heating up. You guys hearing that? Yeah. Now, why is that important? Well, because there's a whole bunch of you. There's like 70,000 real estate agents in South Florida who are competing for fewer listings, which makes this conversation on lead generation that much more important. Matter of fact, it makes it critically important. And by the way, it always was critically important. So page 136.
You get that data off the Sun Stats?
Broker metrics. Okay. All right. For effective lead generation, you need to be systematic. You need frequency and consistency. And go for sheer volume. Your lead generation plan must always be more ambitious than your income goals. Emerson was right when he wrote, "We aim above the mark to hit the mark." And that was never more true than when applied to lead generations. Markets shift, conversion rates slide, and things just happen over time that could cause you to need more leads than you originally thought you would need. Your best defense against these unforeseen possibilities is to go on the offense and build a lead generation plan that will generate more than you think you will need. Now, there are 3 key areas to lead generation, and repetition is the mother of learning. We've talked about this before. We're going to talk about this again. And number 1 is prospect and market. So we have 3 buckets that we can focus on in order to find seller listings. And I'm just going to focus on seller listings this morning, but this is true for getting buyer leads as well. And the first bucket is prospect. Examples of prospecting are for sale by owners, expired listings, door knocking, circle prospecting, anything that you are proactively doing in order to find business, in order to find someone who is thinking of selling their home. Marketing is usually associated with spending money, and the goal of marketing is to attract buyers and sellers. If I send out a golden letter to my farm, I'm going to spend money on the letter. It is being mailed to every door in that neighborhood. And the goal of the golden letter is to have someone reach out to me. Hey, I got this letter. Looks interesting. I wanted to talk about getting a market evaluation on my home. Success. Marketing attracted someone who called me. That's the goal of marketing. The third bucket that we focus on is repeat and referral business, and that's our database. Now, we've defined lead generation as 20 conversations a day. That's a standard. If you don't have a standard, you're doing the best you can, and the best you can is not enough. And you can't measure, I'm doing the best I can. Well, what does that look like? Now, if you're making 0 contacts a day right now, your lead generation is not systematic, it's not consistent, it's not persistent. You kind of just do it on and off. And you're talking to maybe 2 or 3 people a day. Don't start today with, okay, starting today, I'm making 20 contacts a day, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Start with 5. Hold yourself accountable to that number until you've hit that number consistently, and then make it 7. And do that, hold it consistently, and then make it 10. Build your way to 20. But 20 is the goal. 20 is the goal, 250 days a year, working 50 weeks, taking 2 weeks off for vacation, working 5 days a week, 250 days, times 20 is 5,000 conversations. Now, I'm focused on adding people to my database. The 4 laws of your database, according to the Millionaire real estate agent, is build a database, feed it every day. Feed it every day means add people to your database every day. Again, have a standard. My standard would be add at least 1 person a day to your database. That way, over the course of a year, you're adding 250 people to your database. So build a database, feed it every day, communicate with it in a systematic way, service all the leads that come your way. So when I'm having these conversations, I am focused on building my database and feeding it every day, meaning I'm adding people to my database. I'm also looking for opportunity. I'm looking for people who are thinking of selling their home. Whether they're thinking of selling their home this week, 30 days from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter. I'm looking for opportunity, period. So when I'm having these for sale by owner conversations, these expired conversations, these circle prospecting conversations, I am looking for people who are thinking of selling their home, and I'm adding them to my pipeline. Now, again, my standard is at least 1 per day, which means over the next 12 months, I'm going to be face-to-face with 250 people who are thinking of selling their home. I'm going to add 250 people to my database over the next 12 months because I'm adding 1 new person to my database every single day. So the first rule of lead generation is to prospect and market. The second rule of lead generation is to set up your database. Set up your database by starting with everybody that you know, everybody who knows you, likes you, and if they were going to buy or sell a home, they might work with you. That's the definition of your sphere of influence. Get them in your database. The second rule of lead generation is to set up your database. And then the third rule of lead generation is to systematically communicate with your database every single day. So part of these 20 conversations are to my database looking for repeat and referral business. So I prospect for sell by owners, expireds, circle prospecting, door knocking in order to find buyers and sellers. I market in order to attract buyers and sellers. And I communicate with my database in order to build relationships and to create repeat and referral business. Now, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. If this sounds too simple, okay, maybe it is, and it works. Diane, you shared that on James Shaw's call today. Someone shared that it being lead generation, that all lead generation takes is persistence, and consistency. That's it. Persistence and consistency. That means on Monday, I have 20 conversations focused on building my database and looking for opportunity. Yes or yes? It also means that once I've met with someone, in other words, lead generation has created an opportunity. I've got that person in my pipeline now. They're there forever because I reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. I understand that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information over time. That part of my lead generation on Monday also includes these follow-up calls. Once a week for 4 weeks, then once every other week for the next 2 months, and then once a month after that, forever, until we get to this point where they get serious about selling their home and we're creating emotional proximity. And emotional proximity simply means that I'm going to hire the person who's closest to me when I get serious about selling my home. So on Monday, I'm having 20 real estate conversations with my database. I'm building relationships. Madeline, I'm calling and I'm having forward conversations. How's your family? How's the kids? How's school? Hey, are you still working as a CPA at blank, blank, blank accounting firm? If I had a referral for you, are you accepting new clients? What's the best email address for me to send that information to? I'm building relationships, having forward conversations. Hey, before I go, just out of curiosity, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home now or in the next 6 months? I'm having my DTD2, do the database 2. In other words, on Monday, I'm calling the A's and D's. On Tuesday, I'm calling the C's and D's, but I'm working my way through my database every single day. I'm also making prospecting calls for sell by owners, to expired, to circle prospecting in order to add new Mets to my database every day, because my standard is 1 new Met every single day. And to add people to my pipeline, my standard is 1 every day. And those 250 people now live in follow-up, and I'm following up with them forever until they sell their home, list their home, or hire me. Now on Tuesday, I'm going to come into the office and I'm just going to hit the reset button and do it again. I'm going to have 20 real estate conversations focused on building relationships in my database, having forward care call conversations, looking for repeat and referral business. I'm calling for sell by owners and expireds and circle prospecting, looking for opportunity, and I'm following up to create emotional proximity. And then on Wednesday, I come into the office and I hit the reset button and I just do it again. And then on Thursday, I come into the office and I hit the reset button and I do it again. And on Friday, I come into the office and I hit the reset button and I do it again. Now, fast forward 5 years from now, I come into the office, I hit the reset button and I just do it again. For the rest of my real estate career, this is what my day looks like. Nothing else. Now, if you hear passion or frustration, you're right. Because I am passionate about this and I am frustrated. because I can't go do this for you, but I know what it takes in order to do this. And I watch agents choose to achieve at a level less than they're capable of. And when I knew it, and I know that Clarissa, Diane, Juanita, John, Michael, I know that every single one of you, Larry, Yvonne, every single one of you, if you would just do this, you would be massively successful. Prove me wrong. Go ahead. I'll stop talking. Anybody. Prove me wrong.
That would be an exercise in futility.
All right, talk to me.
Simple, but it ain't easy, John.
Say that loud enough for everybody to hear you.
It's simple, but it's not easy, John.